So here we are, SoE Live, the unveiling, EverQuest Next. We just saw a glimpse at Next Generation. So I wanted to bring everyone a podcast, just a recap podcast of the most important things that I think were discussed at the convention. The first area of discussion were the memories. All the videos that were posted on the official website, they merged and you got to see a lot of players and their lives before and after EverQuest. Basically, how their lives were influenced and changed by the game. And it was pretty heartwarming actually, because I could relate to some of the guys in the videos. There were some people that actually started families from the game, and that's pretty amazing how a game could bring a couple together and a baby's born through the game. Basically, it's something to behold. So after the memories were introduced and we got to see a lot of the people and how it changed their lives, George and Smidley gave their opinions on the game, where they wanted to take it, their ambitions, their goals, how it's affecting them, so on and so forth. I think that was amazing. They really put on a good show. After they were done speaking, we got to see a lot of sand art, basically referring to a Sandbox style game, and just their imaginations going wild. It was a beautiful piece. It was well done. The artist behind it, amazing guy to be able to do that type of art with just sand alone and draw his pictures and bring the story to life. I thought that was an amazing piece of the presentation. So now down to the nitty-gritty, what we've all been waiting for, the game itself. The first topic that I would like to cover are the arts and the animation used for the game. Now, a lot of people are going to say that the art is very cartoony. However, to counter that design, you can pretty much say that they would like this game to be played on the current PC. They're not making the same mistake they did with EverQuest 2 and Vanguard, where the most powerful computers that money could buy could only run the game on medium settings, at day one. If you were around for those games, you would know that that style of graphic is not good marketing. If you can't sustain your player base because of graphics, what good's your game going to be in a year when people still can't play it? So the art I loved it. I love both the human female wizard that they displayed and the Kishan warrior that they displayed. It was pretty phenomenal. And a lot of the animation and the facial expressions were spot on, and it really brings a dynamic of character depth that they've yet to achieve in MMOs of today. So that's truly Next Generation. Another topic is the 40 class system that they're going to be implementing. 40 classes, but they're not going to be all available at character creation. You're going to be able to pretty much create the character that you want to play, which seems phenomenal, because that's something that I've expressed in older podcasts that I've done, and I think this is the system that will work for the long run. I think it's going to be an awesome system. I think their vision in that sense is truly Next Generation as well. Another big area of discussion is going to be those voxels. If you don't know what the voxels are, well, basically everything in the world is going to be made up of voxels, and each voxel is going to be destructible. That means if you have a building that's 100% voxels, you can actually break it down. They showed clips of characters and NPCs blowing stuff up, just completely destroying it. And they said the entire world is going to be made up of these voxels. Pretty impressive stuff. Again, truly Next Generation. Another topic of discussion is going to be artificial intelligence, which is, that's where Storybricks is going to come in. And, I've elaborated with this by myself and with, if you heard the collaboration podcast that was released today as well, Storybricks is going to have a lot to do with the artificial intelligence within the game. And basically, no NPC is going to be in the same place twice. Quests will be dynamic and based on what's going on in the game. Two players may never see the same quest twice again. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Definitely something I'm going to be keeping tabs on, because that is going to be very much towards the gameplay of the game. Another topic or area that I thought was important was the permanent change dynamic that they are going to introduce. And these dynamics that I'm referring to, Smedley said, or actually I believe it was Georgian, they were referring to almost like the spheres of Vanguard, but not quite. But I'll get into that probably in another podcast. But let's go back to permanent change, aka the rally call. So what is the rally call? What's that gonna do? That's basically gonna be like area-wide quests. They were saying how if they wanted to build a new city, NPCs wanted to build a new city, they'd have a rally call for all players to come and take part in the creation of a city. Now, this isn't gonna be like a 1-day process or a 1-week process. They were saying that this is gonna take 3 to 4 months to build an entire city. And if I'm not mistaken, these cities are going to be filled with these voxels. It's going to be voxel. So these cities are going to actually be able to be destroyed, I believe. I'll have to get more information on that, of course, because you never know. But from what I've seen in the video, I mean, truly destructible world. So that's going to be an interesting concept as well. So in closing, I guess you can say that they stuck to their promises. It's going to be a sandbox. There's not much more to say about that, other than the fact that I think the game isn't ready for release at the end of the year, and probably not until maybe second quarter of next year. But they are releasing EverQuest Next landmarks, which allows players to stake their claim in the world so they can build their homes, which is pretty cool. I think that's a good idea. They're also going to be using that to drive a business model where you can buy others' creations. And of course, I believe Sony will get a cut, and the original creator of the structure will have a cut as well. And let me just talk a little bit about that in a little bit more detail. Basically, like I said, the world will be a sandbox, and it's going to look like, if you haven't played Minecraft, take a look at that. You basically use building blocks to erect structures, but Sony has taken it one step beyond just using blocks. You can actually shape and mold those blocks into spheres. You can mold them into whatever you want. They showed the difference between the block structures, which looks like blocks, and what you can do in their game with those blocks, which you can actually make a perfect sphere, which is kind of crazy. It's amazing technology. But that's pretty much it, and that's about all the coverage that I can do for SoE Live on a recap. And what better way to end the podcast? SoE Live was a pretty good turnout. Apparently they had about 30,000 live viewers on Twitch, and might I add that the Twitch quality was excellent. A couple hiccups here and there, but you know, it was a live stream and 30,000 people, a ton of bandwidth. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I'd just like to mention that we have a raffle that's going to take place on EverQuestNexus.com. That's EQNexus.com. And to win your own Nagaffin hat. We actually had somebody on the floor pick one of these up for us. So come check us out. Get in on that raffle. You could win a free Nagaffin hat by signing up on the forums. But anyway, again, thanks everyone for listening. I'm your host, DJ Sid. Get ready for the next podcast. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good